Hello everybody, welcome to the CEO Talk. Today, welcome Mr. David from Unilever. Second is Mrs. Selena from Greenwich, and finally Mr. Dominic from APT Group. Okay, today we talk about the importance of organizational behavior. First, we talk about the culture in a company. So, what is culture?
The culture in the company play an important role to the organization behaviors of the employee and as it affect a lot to the performance of the company.
Okay. Yeah. Nowadays there's some model of culture. So can you tell me something about this model?
I know the same model. Same believe that the organizations that attempt to develop a culture and the employee get through the various chain and adapt to the external environment and solve the organization problem. They learn from their past experience and start to implement practice and collective the employee attitude from the culture within the organization. In the chain model, we have the three levels. The first is the active phase. This level is the characteristic of the organization which can be easily viewed, heard, and felt by the individual collective known as the active phase. The rest code of the employees, office furniture, the behavior of the employees, the mission or the vision of the organization. All come under active phase and go a long way in the designing the culture of the workplace. For example, in the organization we have no one in the organization in this allow the rest of casually, but in the organization B, the employee can wear the whatever they like, they feel like. So in the both case, employee in the organization I wear the rest. That equal the professionalism and strictly follow the policy of the organization. On the other hand, the employee in the organization B have a laid back attitude and do not take their work seriously. The second is the value. That is a deeper level to the superficial aspect that contribute to the organization culture are the value of the company and the individual that work there. The coherent element of those values, how employees react to the situation and the problem will shape the culture. So what people actually think the matter a lot for the organization, the mindset of the individual or associated with any particular organization influence the culture of the workplace. So do you know the third level was it?
Oh, it's assumptions.
Yeah, assumption.
You know, assumption. It's very hard to understand, but I think I can define. Okay. The first type of assumption is about what is the truth and invisible and the social matters, how reality and truth are determined, and whether truth is to be revealed or discovered. And the second type of assumption is about the importance of time in a group, how time is to be defined and measured. And the third assumption is about how space to be owned and allocated, the symbolic meaning of space around persons, the role that space plays in shaping relationships between individuals and boundaries between intimacy, and privacy. Okay, I can see. I don't know this word.
No problem.
Okay, from Thai basic assumptions about the intrinsic or ultimate aspects of human nature, whether the human nature is fundamentally good or bad, and whether it can be perfected. The fifth is how the organizational relationship within environment, about the understanding of work in play and how much of activity and passivity should be appropriate. And finally, about the right way for people relate with each other in appropriate ways through digital power and responsibilities and relative merits or cooperation and competition, individualism or group collaboration. The basic of leadership, whether it should be traditional authority, law, charisma, appropriate ways of resolving conflicts and making decisions. This is six types of assumption. I would is another model of culture.
So another cultures which is very important in economy, I think that is the handy model. So the first one is the power culture. In an organization, the power cultures, power is held by just a few individuals who influence strict controls the organization. There are a few rules and regulation in the power culture. What flow with the power decide is what happens. Employees are generally chosen by what they achieve rather than how they do things and how they act. A consequence of this can be quick decision making, even if those decisions aren't in the best long-term interest of the organization. A power culture is usually a strong culture, though it can be swiftly turned toxic. The local caps of the enrolled Lehman Brothers and RBS is often attributed to a strong power culture.
Beside the power cultures is role culture. Organizations with role culture are made on roles. They are highly controlled with everybody in the organization. They are now in with their roles and their responsibilities. Power in the role culture is determined by personal positions in the organization structure. This structure culture is highly job-oriented and can be often found in bureaucratic. In the role culture, employees want to most securely as possible. This part of role culture is not always flexible. Management of staff take place by means of producers and leadership descriptions. This applies to both individual job as well as communication between departments. Key words within a role culture are safety, stability, conservatism, and predictability.
So moreover, in the handy model, we also have the top culture. It always takes the high collaboration level and a high power distribution. Many rotate, or we can call it the matrix organizations, will have the top cultures, which is mainly result the overnighted. Top cultures also refer to as how can I call it, a tenor culture who like to the power. In addition, when we do this culture is also the goodness and the martial art and peace. The employees are experienced, professional, and have the skill to solving the problem. And they want to complete their task or their project correctly. The employee rely on both their own expertise and that's on their knowledge. So top culture organizations often deploy the temperature terms and in quick collaboration in the power mode. The powers is not necessarily connected to a specific person, but is over the entire organization. Result and more important than the rules, the balance of the power on video person needs expertise also flexible, and this is the central, and the coordination depend on tasks on the project requirement. For example, that is the deadline on the high priority or the KPI, which we give for our employees.
The final culture in the handy culture models is the personal culture. In organizations with person cultures, individuals very much see themselves as unique and superior to the organization. The organization simply exists in order for people to work. An organization with person culture is really just a collection of individuals who happen to working for the same organization. a personal culture can be open in professional organizations where employees who have complete independence are highly educated and can work with their expertise. Think of law firms, health companies, or academic research teams, for example. Because it's often a leader who has final responsibility. There may cause occasionally be coordination problems within these types of organizations. In general, a poor person culture is very rare. In most cases, person culture will only be short-lived, and the organization will gradually shift towards one of the other cultural typologies.
It can be seen that I see two types of cultural model. First is shame and secondly handy. So I think two types very useful nowadays. It's depends on the company, depend the goal, depend the situation. Yeah, companies we can use appropriate. Yeah.
So do you know that not only cultures, power, and politics nowadays play an important role in the company. So what's the power in each company mean? So in every company, there is always the concept called power, depending on different purposes. Individuals or organizations may use the power to help or even harm other members. So in addition, we can understand that power is like a tool to be able to serve individual or organization that perform action or thing that they cannot do by directing and controlling. Control the organization objectives and activities. We can divide the power of individual in the organization into two main sorts, which is the formal power and informal power. So informal concept, individual can use the power through the legitimate power, reward power, concede power, or power of information. So another one that is the informal form. We have the expert power, or the powers of the employees who have the satisfaction of joining a group they like. There is even the concept of the charismatic power, a form of instant reference power that comes from a big person, unit personality, physical strength, or other ability to make order trust and follow them. Therefore, the certain code that is two times the power that they always have in each company. Next is the holistic. Holistic and power always go together. The concept of the holistic in the companies and the businesses today, there's not seem to trend to everyone. We can understand that the holistic in that company is about the individual and the organizations in different ways to grant the power, to create the power to adjust all the members of the company. Company always fulfills their goals and desires. The scale of the political activity take place when the political motivation start from the individual players and the political skill they can develop into the group level arcs is direction now toward to border contest where the ballistic operate, and that's the national level. In addition, we also have the soft, informal, and the hard formal power level. Soft power is the latent, using the influence from relationship and the personal value. Political activity is based on the hard powers, based on the position, expertise, directive, and the reward control mechanism. However, we also need to understand that in order to increase the efficiencies and effectiveness, managers have used and exploit politically and in each organization. The more legal power to control other managers. At the same time, we also make them to have the talent, strong, smart, and sensitive managers who can balance the structures of the power on the issue when the company has a conflict between the members of the organization and will avoid the training to help the organization operate effectively in the future.
In my opinion, the work place politics is a process and behavior in the human interaction involving power and authority. It's also a tool to assess the operational capacity and balance the view of the interested parties. It is also known as the office politics or the organization the politics. It is the use of the power in the social networking within an organization to achieve the change that benefits the organization and individual within it. The influence by the individual may serve the personal interest without the regard to the effect on the organization. Some of the personal offenses may include the access to the tangible assets or the intangible benefits, such as the status or the personal authority that influence the behavior of others. On the other hand, the organization politics can increase the efficiencies from the interpersonal relationship or the profit the organizations and its members simultaneously, but both the individual and the group may embrace it. In the office politics, which can be highly destructive as the people focus on the personal gains at the expense of the organizations. The self-service political action can negatively influence our social grouping, the cooperation, information sharing, and many other organization functions. Thus, it is vital to pay attention to the organization political and create the right political landscape.
In the power in politics, there is an aspect that is about the leadership. So, can you tell me something about this aspect?
In my opinion, a leadership style is the method of providing direction, implementing plans, and motivating people, whereas others have proposed identify many different leadership styles as exhibited by leaders in political, business, or other fields. Study on leadership style are conducted in military field, especially an approach that stresses a holistic way of leadership, including how leadership physical determines how others perceive that leader. Thus, factor of the physical presence in this content include ministry bearing, physical fitness, confidence, and resilience. The leadership intellectual capacity helps to conceptualize solutions and acquire knowledge to do the job in an organization.
So, in my opinion, I know a type of the leadership. This is the democratic leadership. So, the definition of democratic leadership is exactly what it sounds like. The leader makes decisions based on the input of each team member. Although he or she makes the final call, each employee has an equal say on the project's direction. Democratic leadership is one of the most effective leadership styles because it allows lower level employees to exercise authority. They need to use value in future positions. They might hold. It also resembles how decisions can be made in the company board meetings. So, what is the advantages of democratic leadership? Okay, this is the democratic leadership is very famous and very common in the world now. So, can you tell me some country that have democratic leadership?
The US,
Yeah.
UK, and some of the country in the European.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so why is very famous and why is very common? Because there are some advantages of democratic leadership. Firstly, the employees work more effectively because employees are priority in designing the task. They are in charge of work. The work is handled more quickly, more accurately, and efficiently. Secondly, the atmosphere is friendly, team-oriented, task-oriented. People focus on any work, coordinating to perform work instead of just the same and envy. The third thing, work efficiency has been continuously improved because the democratic leader has made the right decision, keeping up with the reality. Okay. And next to the working environment be comfortable, friendly, and promising. So the employees stick to work for a long time, wholeheartedly taking care of the company works. And the finally, the company has many competitive advantage compared to its competitors by the multi-collective chain. Yeah, you can see very many advantages from democratic leadership.
Before the democratic leadership style, transactional leaders use rewards and punishment to gain calmness from their followers. In any case, transactional leaders are not connected and concerned with the well-being of workers in an organization. As compared with the transformational leadership, according to you, there are intrinsic motivations that bring minimum calmness for followers that shape goals, structures, and culture of the existing organization. Transactional leaders tend to be directive and action-oriented from the organization. Transformational leaders want followers to achieve intrinsic motivation and job fulfillment. Another opinion, transactional leadership is primarily passive. On the other hand, transformational leadership is interactive and inspiring the employees in the organization. The behavior most associated with this type of leadership are establishing the criteria for rewarding followers and maintain the status quo. This overall effectiveness of transactional management can be very practical and directive. Through transactional management, a holistic measure of successful can be discovered through the consistent monitoring on the organization.
It can be seen that the power and politics are very important in the organizational behavior. So every situation, every company, every mission that you use every model, different model is applied in this mission integral of the company. Besides the cultural power in politics, there's one is the motivation. Motivation plays a very important role in the company. So I know a model of motivation. It's the muscle theory.
Maslow.
Yeah, you know muscle theory.
Yes, absolutely.
Muscle is divided from two to five levels.
Okay.
Yeah. But firstly is pacing this. Pacing this their biological requirement for human survival, such as is air, atmosphere, food, drink, shelter, clothing, ground, even sex and sleep. Yeah. If the needs are not satisfied, the human body cannot function optimally. Maslow consider the basic needs is the most important. Add on the other needs become secondary until these needs are met. And the next is the safety needs. The safety needs is about the protection from elements, security, order law. stability, freedom from fear. It's mean that when you work in must you always be free. You cannot are not inspired and you can work very comfortable. Yes, that is two levels of in the muscle theory.
Besides the two basic needs level of the Maslow models, there's three higher levels of the Maslow models. The first level is the social needs. Human is the social animals, and accordingly seek companionship, acceptance, and inclusion. Maslow identifies social needs as friendship, peer support, and the ability to give, receive love. According to the Anna model, or the 365 12 motivate and reward your employees every day with little or no money. The workplace offers the opportunity to be part of learn in which members share their progressive knowledge, skill and techniques experience to solve problems in which they have vested interest. Competitions for groups, mentoring, brainstorming sessions, how to work together, and even office could make employees feel as if they are family.
I remember the floor is the self-esteem need, right?
Yeah, the next level of the Maslow model is self-esteem needs. Esteem needs.
Yeah, esteem. I know.
In concern with social needs, is the desire to be recognized for personal accomplishment. Maslow divides this position of his theory into external and internal motivators. External motivators are the brightest and the worst. Best for the outstanding performance, elevations in status such as converted, promotion and newfound attention and admiration from others. Internal motivators are the private goals that workers set for themselves, such as beating the prior month's sales figures and satisfaction in experiencing self-respect for having done the right thing. When employees know their efforts are not going unnoticed by management, they take more pride in their work production. In addition, their co-workers see the correlation between responsibility and rewards and made endeavor to set the performance bar for themselves. And the final level of the Maslow model culture is the self-actualization. Once quarters of physiological, safety, social, and self-esteem needs are met, Maslow believes that individuals are capable of achievement their true potential and embody truth, meaning, wisdom, and justice in their words and action. So actualization moves them to higher level of understanding as well as way to impart empathy for the needs of others. Those who achieve this state, as Maslow himself speculated, that was only 2% of the population in the organization. Maslow also tied this belief that the journey in whatsoever it takes could be more rewarding than actual destination. Punishments can be applied this to a practice of appreciation in the woods of extraordinary individuals struggling with them rather than focusing performance of the organization or the game, that they lose sight of the human emotions.
But you know, today the Maslow theory is heavily critical by the scientists. They are the situation. It is not possible to substantiate the idea, but they need to take the place in the hierarchical order. There are people who, despite the different circumstances, are perfectly capable of the satisfy their social needs and who are capable of the striving for renunciation.
So I agree with you. I have the same idea that furthermore the Maslow hierarchies have the various needs can combine with one another, and they can vary from situation to situation. In the workplace, is basically the younger employees who have a need for the social contact, whereas their older the college want to be recognized for their treatment. As the third critical comment is would be said that the number of hierarchies of needs is rather static. The needs of employee change and hands-on the situation, experience, and by the comparing themselves with others. So I think that's the macro hierarchies as they have lots of respect. That I think other theories is progress from the markets now. That is
Equity. I know this theory. I don't know equity theory who says that the people maintain a fair relationship between the performance and reward in the comparison to other. In other words, an employee gets motivated by the job and his employer indicates his input are more than the output. The equity theory was proposed by the John Stacy Adams, and it's based on the following assumption. The individual makes the contributions with the inputs for which they expect certain reward that for the outcomes. The validate the exchange an individual compare his input and outcomes with those of the other and try to make it correct the inequality. Following the Adams theory, now we have the three types of exchange relationship that arise when an individual input or outcome are compared with that of the other persons. Right?
So I know that the first one is the overpair inequity. When individual perceive that the outcomes are more as compared with their inputs in the relation to others. The overpair inequity can be expressed as the person outcome division to the person input is bigger to other out the division to the other inputs. The second is in independent equity is when individuals perceive that the outcome are less as compared to the inputs in the relation to others. The pair equity can be expressed as the person outcome division to the person inputs smaller to the other outcomes division to other inputs.
Yeah, and the third is the equity. An individual perceives that his outcome in relation to his input and applied to those of others. The equity can be expressed as the person outcome in divisions, person input is equal or the outcome and divisions or the input.
Therefore, equity theory show the level of motivation among the individual in the working environment. So an individual just said that the higher motivation is they receive to be treated fairly. So obviously that's why the feeling of the demotivation arises if an individual perceived to be treated unfairly in organization. So all in all, we can see that in individual levels of the motivation depend on the intent they feel being treated fairly or not. In terms of the reward in the comparison to the order of the company.
understand equity theory, and especially is their motivation models help managers and policymakers to reshape that where improving one's person terms and conditions of resolve the individual's demands. If the change is perceived by other people to upset the equity of their own situations, then the solution can easily generate far more problems than attempted to fix. Equity theories, as well as the motivation model, reminds us people see themselves and the way they are treated in terms of their surrounding environment, teams, and system, not in isolation, and so they must be managed and treated accordingly.
Nowadays, the motivation of motivation method is very important. It's linked with the culture in the power of this very strong, very clear. Yeah.
So I think that is not right wrong, just you put it in right environment that they can live together and work well.
Yeah. It's based on the capability of the leader and the company, the situation, the environment, the area, the market share. Yeah, very aspect. So this is about the theory.
Yeah.
But now we have to talk about the defined area, defined market. It's in Vietnam.
Let's we will talk about the culture, the political power and motivation in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it run, how.
Influence.
Yeah.
In Vietnamese behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, now we start.
So I think that in Vietnam, so that is the very active market. The culture, the power policy and motivation in Vietnam is very important. And when we want to enter the Vietnam market, we need to change further the culture.
Yeah.
So the reason why today I want to share with you something about the husband model. You know about it?
Yes, I know the husband model applied in the Vietnam is very clear. For example, the power distance. Vietnam has the score is very high in this definition is 70, which means that the people accept a hierarchical order in which everybody has a place and which need no future justification. Hierarchy in our organization is seen as a reflecting inherent in our equality. Centralization in the popular or the subordinate expect to the tone what to do and the idea force in benevolence autocrats challenge to the leadership are not well received. The next individualism of Vietnam with a core is strength in a collectivistic society. This is a manifest in a close long-term commitment to the member group. Because families, extended family or extended relationship, loyalty in the collectivist culture is a paramount and overrides most other societal rules and regulation, such as the society foster strong relationship where everyone takes responsibility for follow the member of their group. In collectivistic society, offers lead to the shame and loss of the love face. Employer or employee relationship are perceived in a moral term like family link, hiring and promotions. Take account of the employees in a group.
So in addition, we also have the masculinity. If we have the boy letter in here, Vietnam will stay in 40 sport in on this dimension. and it thus considers a feminist society. In the feminist countries, the focus is on working in order to live, and the managers for the consensus people value equality, solidarity, and equality in their working life. Conflict are resolved by the compromise and negotiation. Incentives such as in the free time and flexible are valued. Focus is on the well-being, statistics is not shown, and an effective managers is a supportive one, and decision making achieve food involved. So another one is uncertainty avoidance. Vietnam sport is thirsty based on the dimension in terms of low reference for avoiding uncertainties. Low yield AI societies maintain a more relaxed attitude. The practice have more than principle and deviation from norm is more easily to tolerate. In society is very slow about the UAI. People only believe there should be no more rule than necessary. And if they are ambiguous or do not work, there should be a better chance. The schedule are very flexible. It's very hard to work and undertaken when it's necessary, but not for its own sake. Moreover, this is persistence and punctuality do not come naturally. Innovation is not seen at the true.
Another is a long-term orientation. Vietnam has a score is 57. It's a pragmatic culture. In a society with a pragmatic orientation, people believe that the truth depends very much on the situation, context, and the time. They show the ability to adapt the traditional easily to change the condition, a strong propensity to sell and invest, a fitness and perseverance in the achievement results.
Oh, I remember that the last one is endurance. In Vietnam, not just a low score, just about the 35 on this dimension. In the case, because the culture of Vietnam is the characteristic as the returns. Societies with a low score in this dimension have the tendency to the pessimism. Also, it contract to the indulgent society, and the society do not put much the emphasis on the leisure time and the control the design people with the organizations have to perception that their action are retrained by the social norm and feel that enduring themselves is something someone will want.
Okay.
Finally, I will tell something about the power and realistic in organization in Vietnam. So first, I will tell you about the power system in Vietnam. According to the Hofstede Center, this dimension refers to the part that is individual in society not equal. In other words, power system is defined as the acceptance of people about their position in business environment. People living in a country with higher power system have a tendency of accepting unique co-distribution. On the other hand, living in less power distant country, everyone is equal, and it is mutual purpose of society. People have freedom to talk with those in higher levels without hesitations. In Vietnam, the score is the 1970, which is considered as high. Thus means Vietnamese people accept other communicators that in business organization, decisions and ideas are made by the top positions. The eldest person has the most influence. In addition to age, hierarchy, competence on education level, job positions, power, business is not only in workplace but also also in the daily day. Children have to obey their parents. Also, it's happened the same way in relationship of teacher-student, employees and process, member listers. In short, they take for granted that this decision power is obvious. Finally, power distance depends a lot on the cultures, whereas the management style, less efficient, are very Vietnamese enterprises. Employees follow the instructions of their superiors because they consider it their duty. It can be concluded that the leader must be flexible and adapt to its development stage in the life cycle of the organization. If align a leadership style that is suitable for the newborn period of the organization, the result will culture productive, even contribute to the accelerating the complete of the organization.
So okay, last but not least, I think that the motivation in this is very significant because also the employees and also the workers when they work with you want to get the reward.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
why.
I want to say today. So I think that in Vietnam we should to design a program which fits for the structures of each company. The first one I want to say is that in a company. So we take the double salary for the worker compared to the market now and triple time for the skilled worker.
Yeah.
It's very high to make them satisfied. Another one is in the holiday or in the end of the month, the end of the year, we only give them the vouchers or the gift, or we take them to travel, to go to another country, to have them relax, to recharge the power, to work better. So in Vietnam, you know that the culture in Vietnam very funny. And the
Yeah,
people in Vietnam very
Flexible.
yeah, so the reason why we should to give them the days off in Vietnam
Yeah.
as well as the time break.
Yeah.
In Europe or in Japan, the people work all the day, but in Vietnam we should to give them at least I think that 1 hour.
Perfect, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the moon.
And,
So another one that is we should to promotion them to the level what they want if they have the ability to control it. And I always acknowledge the contributions of our employees. So moreover, I think that we should training their employees in different nations to have them have the overviews of not only in this market but also in the market to have them have the clear view and work back.
but you know, besides acquiring employee by a reward, some companies also use the penalties and half that employee can improve their professional responsibility and they work more effectively. In addition, most of employees only work when they have the result about the punishment. Because most people in Vietnam are usually late, lazy, or they just need a result from the outside to work. So in some of the business in Vietnam, they use the business and deterrent theory play a vital role in the shaping the culture to be in the line with the operational expectation and in the avoid conflict and other negative outcome both internal or external. If the employee clearly know what they are supposed to do, they generally try to avoid it.
So after the meeting, we have to know about theories and content of our organizational behavior, including culture, power, and politics and motivation. So we have different perspectives about this address to understand better about how the companies apply them or operate them. We go to the personal talk of these guests here.
Oh no, yeah, oh, oh. Ở đây là một công ty với 30 năm thăng trầm dẫn bước bằng đôi bàn tay và thêm một ý chí lớn lao. Ở đây là một công ty nối tiếp tinh hoa dân tộc vươn lên, trí tuệ sáng tạo năng động vươn tới đỉnh cao. Một công ty cùng chiều sâu một nét văn hóa rất đặc thù để cho tinh thần chiến thắng đến trong mọi người và để ngày ngày đón biết bao niềm vui cùng. Một công ty chẳng ngại tiên phong để vươn được ra khắp toàn cầu, dịch vụ nâng cao và công nghệ tiên tiến hàng đầu để hình ảnh đẹp ngày càng vươn xa khắp Nam châu. FPT niềm tự hào vang lên khi nhắc đến FPT mà là ngọn lửa vinh quang luôn được thắp sáng tiếp và họ nhau đời người người hát vang một khúc ca. FPT chờ đợi 30 năm ta chờ đón một món quà, ngọn lửa của đam mê như lan khắp đến muôn nhà, cùng hòa nhịp và cùng hát vang la la la. Là một công ty với 30 năm thăng trầm dẫn bước bằng đôi bàn tay và thêm một ý chí lớn lao. Ở đây là một công ty nối tiếp tinh hoa dân tộc vươn lên, trí tuệ sáng tạo năng động vươn tới đỉnh cao. Một công ty cùng chiều sâu một nét văn hóa rất đặc thù để cho tinh thần chiến thắng đến trong mọi người và để ngày ngày đón biết bao niềm vui cùng. Một công ty chẳng ngại tiên phong để vươn được ra khắp toàn cầu, dịch vụ nâng cao và công nghệ tiên tiến hàng đầu để hình ảnh đẹp ngày càng vươn xa khắp Nam châu. FPT niềm tự hào vang lên khi nhắc đến FPT mà là ngọn lửa vinh quang luôn được thắp sáng tiếp và hòa nhau đời người người hát vang một khúc ca. FPT chờ đợi 30 năm ta chờ đón một món quà, ngọn lửa của đam mê như lan khắp đến muôn nhà, cùng hòa nhịp và cùng hát vang la la la.
Hello everybody, welcome to my CEO talk show. Today we will today is in the companies, the culture and the way to motivate employees very important. So to understand and know about the method, welcome CEO of ABT Group, Mr. Dominic. Hello, Mr. Dominic. Nowadays, the organizational culture is a term is mentioned a lot, and it's considered as the
Yes, organization culture is the factor that determines its company, as well as the general culture. Organizational culture of ABT has specific characteristics separately. Corporation culture is the branded co-worker in business and meets the needs of sustainable value. It establishes system value in business in which people share, accept, appreciate, and behave accordingly. According to the leader, has shown that organization culture represents the collective values, beliefs, and principles of organization members. And these broadest of practice, such as history, broadest market technology strategy, types of employees management style, and national culture. Culture is the belief of our employees in the company, believes in the successful and making employees feel proud of APT Corporation.
Okay.
Yes. One of the culture models applied by many corporations in the world is the handy culture model. APT Corporation applied the power culture in the early stage of this establishment. This is the early stage, and in the process of planning the talent team to help the company development. The success of the company is dependent on the capacity of the leader. Based on the style of the development of the company, APT leader level change the culture models suitable for development. At the time, each employee of APT Corporation has different roles. Besides maintaining and promoting APT traditional cultural values, in order to achieve the success today, the company has undergone many stages of culture strategies changes. APT executive recognize that to promote the development process of the company, and is necessary empower to the employee in within the corporation. This not only contributes to helping employees reach their full potential, but also creating talented people from other companies to fill important positions, businesses. So use internal personnel, giving opportunities as well as empowerment with increasing level and layer fruit as they develop and serve for the organization.
Okay. So APT has been very successful in empowering to employees, which helps employees have the right to decide within their scope of work and help them have more opportunities to create. Could you tell me the detail how APT has empowered to employees?
Yes, over the past 30 years of development, APT Corporation has been leading technology sector of Vietnam with more than 8 members companies and more than 30,000 employees around the world. APT has complicated organization structure. Head of APT Corporation is the Mr. Kim Zaden. APT founder along with 13 other members. The structure of APT including the board of directors and the members company. Each member company has different business strategies, so there are ways of operating in different activities, but all of them are directed towards the purpose and general mission of APT Corporation. Managers in APT empower on creating more opportunities for members' company development, as well as each employee within the APT Corporation. The list of APT Corporation shows the company could grow by to the 30 to 35% a year. This will be very difficult to obtain. The company does have to change and innovational, especially the change in human practice in the companies. Change here does not mean layout employees with experience and long-term working in organizations, but change in empowering of the member of the group. Change the job to a new environment, workplace, The influence of power can be defined as an impact of change in attitudes, values, beliefs, and behavior of individuals in the organization. This leads us to obtain subordinates use more power to influence the behavior of individuals or others. Power is the public where someone influences others. The most important aspect of power is interdependence among each people within the community. Some individuals who have more power can successfully use multiple strategies influence to others and gain more benefits than individuals with less power. Yes.
Oh. So, as the CEOs of FBT Corporation, can you share me what FBT Corporation has done to motivate its employees?
Sure. From the beginning stage, FBT Corporation was determined is to create an ideal working environment for employees. To comprehend that, the FBT leadership was very successful in applying the Maslow demands models to meet on the needs of employees. According to the Maslow, located in the lowest position of the needs system, its demand is this of need on need. Many people can say that the basic need. Below the basic needs such as food, drinking, rest, or housing. The human body should have these needs to exist. Employee work to be meeting on the basic needs of the people. Typical is the working environment of FBT Corporation in Greenwich. This is the working office complex of FBT Group was put into scene using the 2030. This is considered the first and largest project in the field of subway in Vietnam, with the 1,700 seats capacity for staff working in the FBT Corporation. Greenwich is the modern equipment. It's not only an ideal workplace for employees, but also have the areas of others, such as outdoor smoke area rooms, swimming pool, gym, and coffee shop to provide spatial support worker space for employees. When the needs of the safety for physiological well-being are satisfied, the next last of needs for love, affection, and belongingness can emerge. According to the Harvard factors as company policy, supervision, interpersonal relations, working conditions, and salary are the factors rather than motivations. Create motivations to work is the way executed as FBT Corporation promotes employees as well as encourage them to actively to work and more activities to create in the organization. Within the desires to become the leading corporation in the field of technology, new products and management methods. FBT always facilitate for staff learn and improve their skill. Spiritual revenue associated with the continuous learning and creating staff working place. Welfare Policies also award this recommendation is one of the important strategy to ABT can motivate employees in the company. ABT is one of the 5 companies with the working environment and smart people want to work in Vietnam. People reliable recommendation benefits and are rated one of the best company in Vietnam. ABT has paid attention to recommendation policies and attention to life. Having employees have a life through material and spiritual richness. Besides implementation of policy, ABT reward timely creates more opportunities for advancement for employees in the company. Evaluate to put the employee salary twice a year. Assess firm salary. Units or individuals also receive bonus weekly, monthly, or year-end, or other non-cash rewards such as the bright element for excellent employees and travel award for outstanding employee of the year with competitive salaries compared to other companies in the market. Average engineering and programmer can receive income up to the 110 million per month. For finally students or new graduates who have specialized skills in the programming language, their study salary is more than 12 million a month, along with the income levels much higher than the national average. In particular, ABT Corporation created the best condition for the staff working at the brand ABT worldwide, so that they are devoted to the company. For example, engineering working in Japan have the average income about 800 million a month. It's more than 7 times the average salary of the field in Vietnam. This is one of the techniques to tell the ABT recruit and retain the talent between the organizations. Workers ABT employees will be entitled to the allowance, insurance in accordance with the provision of the labor law and the labor social insurance, measures business trip abroad and health care by ABT Care for workers and family. In addition, every year ABT has invested about 38 billion for training and internal training programs to develop and train employees.
Yeah. So, what are the successes of applying various methods to motivate employees?
Over 30 years of establishment and development, ABT now is the leading technology corporation in Vietnam with more than 33,000 employees and has 33 countries worldwide. Revenue of whole corporation reached 21,000 billion Vietnam dong in the 2018. At ABT Corporation, employees have many opportunities to develop themselves and career development opportunities. This helps managers motivate employees. ABT has success in creating a diverse cultural environment, requiring leaders to have the strategy to respond to the cultural differences of the employees. When referring to cost of the company development, It is impossible not to mention how to motivate employees in the company. ABT Corporation has continuously become the best working environment in Vietnam for many years. The ideal working environment helps employees to improve their activities, motivate employees.
Okay, can you tell me some of the characteristics how to attention
Yeah.
to motivate employees in Vietnam?
The typical characteristics of Vietnamese labor are the great concern to human resources of managers in Vietnam. In order to build an effective HR department from the top to bottom, it is essential for managers to understand the characteristics of Vietnamese workers. The nature of Vietnamese workers is exposed through the diligence, and this difficulty has been associated with the history of the development for the thousands of years. In addition, Vietnamese workers have the psychology of being satisfied with the current results and are ready to satisfy with their achievement. Based on this characteristic of the Vietnamese labor, the nature of Vietnamese workers is suitable to the nature of work as well as the culture of ABT Corporation. ABT is the technology corporation providing to the market with a wide range of technological solutions and software with the pioneering mission of national technology. Yeah, questions?
Rồi. Rồi, sẵn sàng. Tiếp.
Besides meeting the needs of employees, leader needs to change the role of employees in the company continuously because Vietnamese workers are easily complacent with the present. This needs to create new challenges for the employees. This not only help the staff have more experience, but also contributes to the development of the company. Understanding the characteristics of employees in Vietnam market can help listed and multinational corporation operating in Vietnam create a corporate culture suitable for Vietnam environment. Creating a positive culture is not only affects the behavior of employees in the company, but also establishes a promise for their administrators to encourage employees to work. Finally, corporate culture also to contribute to changing the leadership of the style of the managers. For the companies with open corporation culture, leaders from their strength tend to more often in the management style, attracting importance to the human factors in the company contributing to the development of the company.
Okay. So that's all about your
Yes.
culture and your way to motivation.
Yes, that's one of the reasons can help the corporation, ABT Corporation become one of the leading corporation technology in Vietnam.
Oh, wonderful. So, this is all about the ABT Corporation, and thank you to the CEO, Mr. Dominic. So, by talk about his company, we can understand about the organizational culture,
Yes.
include the culture, include the motivation method, and he's also give us the advice to Vietnamese market. Yeah. Once again, I want to thank you. You coming to the CEO talk show.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
See you later.
Yes, see you.